We are back, Season 4 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs podcast. I'm Tyler, and along with me are two other hosts and a producer. For those of you who are new to the podcast, we like to showcase breweries, their beers, and conclude every episode with a thematic-ish conversation. If you're a casual listener or a seasoned vet, you know what to expect. Producers continue to change throughout episodes, but the same old connoisseurs will continue to provide top-tier content. Please feel free to listen to all of our previous episodes and producer specials to get an insight into all the breweries and beers we've mostly enjoyed. And whether you're new or returning, we are pleased to be your favorite craft beer podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Now for today's episode. Welcome to the Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett. And along with us today is producer Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Tim. I wouldn't have thought we would have seen Tim.
Tim, it's funny. We contacted Tim in season 1. Couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
But we got Tim time now.
Crazy. Some would say tool time.
Tool time with Tim.
Yeah, tool time with Tim. Doesn't know anything about tools. I've been watching Home Improvement on Disney Plus in the morning.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
I finished it a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I've moved on.
Season 4 now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Just rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So, in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Black Donnellys Brewing out of Russelldale, just outside of Mitchell, because Russelldale really isn't a place on a map.
It is.
I mean, they got like 15 people there.
They got a terrible intersection.
It's awful. There's been a whole bunch of legal legalities around that in terms of like
Stuff.
Maybe putting a stoplight or a roundabout or something like that in there.
We're looking at a roundabout.
Yeah, I guess you'd know. It's within the county that you work in, right? So you would know.
So they say.
Yes.
All right, 2 beers today.
Indeed.
We've done that before. We'll do it again. The first one is Biddulph's Hazy IPA. You wanted to say something?
No, I didn't.
No, you look like
I'm just glad that you said Biddulph's. I guess it's a municipality, so I guess it makes sense that you know that.
Yeah, Luke and Biddulph.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you think I was going to mess it up?
Pretty sure Tim would have.
Tim could have.
Yeah.
Biddulph's Hazy IPA, which we don't list what it is, but I have a funky feeling it could be a Hazy IPA.
Well, it's actually in the name. That's why it's
No, I know. But we always do that.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's a boomity bobbity. The second is their Seven Sons Amber Lager. Do you know what that is?
Lago de la Amber.
Wow. It is an Amber Lager.
Yes. And to finish up, so we're going to talk about our beliefs in the supernatural.
All right, we're back, everybody.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Black Donnellys is owned by the husband and wife team of Neil and Angela Douglas. It's located at 2740 Road 164, also known as Highway 23, just outside of Russelldale, as previously mentioned, which is about 10 minutes south of Mitchell and 30 minutes north of London. They started as a contract brewery in 2015 through Grand River until their current bricks and mortar location, which was found and then switched to accommodate what they have now. It was a former farm equipment dealership.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, when you think of farm equipment dealerships, you think of big space.
Aaron Bald.
No, I don't think of him. I try not to think of him.
Okay.
Yeah, but good for you. Good for
Aaron Bald Eagle.
That's
a shout out to the last minute episode.
But my thinking was like that person has retired from that field.
Will
not state his age, but it's in his 30s.
Yeah. Pretty good. Anyway,
so
what do you got? You got some information here.
I do. Some education, if you will.
Okay, yeah.
So the brewery name is based on the Black Donnellys, who were an Irish Catholic immigrant family who settled in the Biddulph Township in Upper Canada, later known as the province of Ontario, about 15 kilometers northwest of London. So Lucan's kind of between London and Russelldale. Okay, this is for geography people out there. In the 1840s. So the family settled on a concession road, which became known as the Roman Line, which is also one of their beer names, due to its high concentration of Irish Catholic immigrants in the predominantly Protestant area. Many Irish Canadians arrived in the 19th century, many fleeing the Great Famine of Ireland between 1845 and 1852.
Yes, tough times.
Great history lesson, isn't it? The Donnellys' ongoing feuds with the local residents culminated in an attack on the family's homestead by a vigilante mob, also the vigilante, one of the names of their beers, on February 4th of 1880, leaving 5 of the family dead and their farm burned to the ground. However, no one was convicted of the murders despite 2 trials and a reliable eyewitness. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and there's been plenty of information out there about the Black Donnellys.
That's a very short summarization of kind of what happened.
Yeah, there's been plays that have been played in Stratford that were at the Avon Theatre about it. There's podcasts specifically that talk about the Black Donnellys story and kind of true crime in Canada. So, I mean, feel free to kind of scope those out and give those a listen to kind of get it. It's a very, very interesting kind of rich history there. But we're not here to talk about murder unless we're going to be killing these beers soon.
What a great segue.
Thank you so much. The tap room fits around 30 people with ample room outside, both the front patio and the back. Where outdoor concerts are held in the summertime.
Yes.
No winter concerts yet, though, eh?
Well, sometimes, the winter weather brings colder temperatures. And
okay.
Have you ever seen somebody play a guitar with a glove on?
Yeah, you don't need that.
Like a big Columbia glove?
Get some outdoor heaters out there. I think you could have a time.
Maybe you could. I wouldn't.
For sure.
Because I enjoy warmth. Except a nice cold bed.
That's not even remotely true. We just talked about this.
Yeah, cold bed. But I enjoy warmth.
Okay.
I'm a weird person.
Well, that you will not get an argument with me.
Yes.
Tell us about what they focus on.
So they only focus on staple beers. So they're not doing a whole lot of one-offs. They're not doing anything like that. They've only made 9 beers.
Okay. Yeah.
And they've been in business since 2015 and at their current location since 2018. Right?
So
they focus on what they know.
Very consistent.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So on Untapped, they have an average rating of 3.58 out of 5 and over 4,000 check-ins. And because producer Tim was, probably going off with Al Borland over there.
Better Al than Heidi, I guess, for him.
There you go. Or Apparently Anderson. Lisa.
Lisa?
There you go.
Yeah.
I will say that I did a little bit of the Untapped research throughout this.
Okay.
And what I found, the actually most interesting fact, is that you have never been there.
I have never been to the actual brewery. I have driven by it hundreds of times.
Yes. 30,000 times, for God's sakes.
But
honestly, that flabbergasted me.
Never stopped in.
Right?
Never stopped in. And you might be saying, why haven't you stopped in?
Yes, I am saying, why haven't you stopped in? Please let me know.
Because I knew that this day, this podcast, we were going to be recording it. And I said, you know what? Once we have them on the podcast, I'll stop in after.
Well, there you go.
So
when are you going to stop in? When are you going to stop in?
Sold out. I don't know. The next time I, take a tour between London and Mitchell.
Which you used to do a lot.
I used to do it all the time.
Yeah, and now you do it
all the time. But it was never a place that I felt like I should stop in because it was always there. You know what I mean? Like it was.
It's like one of those things you get to eventually, but then you never got to.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, I should stop in this time. Never did. Oh, I should stop in this time. Never did. Yeah. And it's just like it was always there. But like I am excited for this episode to try 2 of their beers. You've tried some beers.
I have. Yes, I have. It's one of those things I'd always stop in because I live in Stratford. It's going Stratford to Grand Bend.
Sure.
Right? It's like a minute and a half, little jaunter over left, Got to kill some time,
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But yes, I've been. So I've had 7 of their 9 beers.
Right.
Okay. And one of them I haven't had. I'm going to be checking it in soon because it's the Amber Lager. I haven't had it.
There you go.
Because their newest, I'm not going to say release because it's been out for a while, but one of their ones that only really made a couple batches of it. Right? Sure. So again, I've had 7 check-ins. The highest rate I'm going to give is the Whalen Line, which is the wheat beer, and the Honey Blonde, which uses nice local honey, both out of 4.
Cool. I've had one beer, which was the Dark Horse Ale at 3.75. Again, because I've never been, but I'm excited to try these too. Yep. And you know what? The next time I drive by, I will make a very conscious effort to.
And this is good because I'll tell you the hours of it. So that you can
that's
stop
good.
there.
No, that's good.
Right? You want it to be close.
All right.
Producer Tim has had 5. His highest rated also the Dark Horse at a 3.75.
There you go.
Okay. So the one thing about them, and I think this is probably a good part because we mentioned they've only had 9 beers, is that when you go there, they have 8 taps and they're always filled.
But what about that 9th one?
Sometimes one of them kind of just they have a Belgian quad that sometimes is kind of like their specialty, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't necessarily on all the time, but you always go there and all their beers are always on tap.
Yeah.
Right? You're never having, I want to go grab that one. We're kegging it, right? Like,
yeah.
It's always there.
Right.
So you can't really complain if you know that they've only made 9 beers and you're always going to have 8 of them that's going to be there, right? I also got some chips. I mean, who doesn't like a good pair of all-dressed chips with your beer? I like
enjoy
all dressed.
chips.
I like all dressed chips with beer.
Take all dressed, none dressed.
Yeah, right.
Barbecue.
Yeah,
I'll do what I want.
Also, Uncle Dad's Pizza. It's a staple in Perth County.
It sounds very Alabama-ish, you know.
I've had him a couple times.
Uncle Dad's?
Yeah, Uncle Dad's. It's weird.
That's very Alabama. Yeah.
Good old Mississippi. I've had him a couple times. Bought him at the farmer's market. I haven't had it there, obviously, but dill pickle pizza. Pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah. Spicy chicken. Pretty good.
Spicy chicken. I like spicy chicken.
Right? Yeah.
Is it cream sauce or tomato?
I think it's tomato sauce. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Sometimes, the GERD acts up with the tomato sauce. It's the whole thing.
So their beers can be found in the brewery, along with some restaurants and bottle shops around southwestern Ontario. However,
these were the hours you were going to talk to me about,
delivery.
Right? Okay.
No delivery around here at this point. So I don't know if you know this, and maybe this is why you haven't had them, is that you actually have to go to the brewery or the restaurants to get them.
Okay,
right?
so when are they open then?
So Tuesday or Thursday, because Monday they're closed, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
All right.
Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 12 to 4.
See, I think the reason why then, too, is like it was before baseball, but like the times they would be closed during the week by the time I'd get out there type thing, right? And like the weekends.
The thing also is that you kind of, I'm not going to say complain, because you didn't complain. You're a trooper when it comes to having to kill time between
lots of time being killed, yeah.
But like, let's say you got a night game in Mitchell.
Yeah,
right?
But do you want me showing up having a couple of pints
yes,
beforehand?
I do.
I don't know about that.
Because then coach can be like, he's got to sit.
Yeah.
He's got to sit half the game.
Yeah, but
then why'd you kill 4 hours? Because beer's got to be drank.
Guys got to drink.
Yeah. But also you could just go to the brewery, have one, and then take all the take-homes and have them later on.
The take-homes.
Yeah.
God, you and your heat-ups and your take-homes.
All right, heat-ups and take-homes.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
I love it.
Well, that's a little bit about the brewery. We're going to link their information on our social media. They're not a big social media.
No. We might be more Facebook this time than the Instagram.
Well, we'll put their stuff on our Instagram for their Facebook. Absolutely. And if you now know that, don't go to an Instagram looking for it. Go to their Facebook.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango.
Bongo.
All right, Brett. What do you think?
A little parched. I need beer. You need beer?
Let's get beer.
Let's go beer.
All right. Thanks to Ange from Black Donnellys for the beers provided for today's episode. Thank you, Ange.
Yeah, she put them in her hand, or in my hand from her hand. That's how it happened.
It's the most awkward handoff story I've ever heard. And then you trying to do it. Crazy.
Yeah. As I
Tim,
said,
what do you think of that? What did you think of that, Tim?
The owl camera that we're going to get is going to come in handy for that, isn't it?
Yeah. Woo. All right. So the first beer we're having today is, as previously mentioned, the Biddulph's Hazy IPA, which is 6% ABV, 27 IBUs. Brett, hit us with some information of this Biddulph's Hazy IPA.
So Biddulph's has a foggy appearance, but it's full of flavor. With more hops than the regular IPA, it packs a cloudy look, but a fresh fruit flavor in the aftertaste. Right? Not a whole lot of information on it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to give us more information?
No. But
let me give more information.
Okay,
here.
Please do.
Follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons and on Untappd Craft Beer Connoisseurs. The rating for Biddulph's Hazy IPA is 3.58 out of the 5 and 167 check-ins at the time of this recording. 5 of our friends on Untappd have checked this in and given it a little bit lower than 3.58. They gave it a 3.49. So it's a little bit lower than probably most of our averages. Brett, you thirsty? You said you were thirsty,
but can I do this part or no? Can I do this part?
No.
Damn it.
No. You can do the next part.
No, I didn't want to do that part.
You're doing the next part.
All right, fine.
All right. Let's grab our cans and grab our glasses and just shake the delusions in Brett's mind thinking that he could do this. And let's open her up. Very nice. Slow and steady, everybody.
Does win the race, apparently.
They do say that. Brett, what are we drinking out of today?
Of course, you'd be drinking out of your IPA glass.
Absolutely, we are. Yeah. Okay, the pour on this one for the photo. Going to be looking like a snow cone out here.
I like it. I like it a lot.
You do like that snow cone look, eh?
Now, you kind of mentioned something offline about the can.
You want to talk about that
And
right
that's
now?
why I was trying to kind of figure out that I could do your opener up thing, so then you could talk to the can, because I talked about the can.
No,
But
you're not going to ever touch my... Nobody's touched my... If there's ever a time that I can't make a podcast, I will pre-record the Let's Open Her Up. And I will slam it in there.
And I will not put it in there.
Who does the editing? I will edit it in.
All right.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Do you want me to talk about the can?
Yes, please do, because I'm interested to see your facts in terms of what may potentially I'm missing on this.
You talk about the can art and what have you, and then I'll let you know if you do mention it or not.
Okay, so obviously a nice dark blue background. Very nice. Very attractive canning in terms of logo. And then Biddulph's Hazy IPA with a little bit of hop on the eye. The eye on the top, a little bit hanging down. Little loosey-goosey action.
Okay.
And obviously, kind of telling it's not a beer. It's not just a beer, it's a story. And then the black Donnelly.
Truly it is, yeah.
Right. And that was brewed on premises. So please, let me know.
So there's nothing else that you can see on this, that might turn you away? No?
No. It's a product of Canada, obviously.
We like that.
Yeah. Does state, it's a location. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Troubles Brewing at the top.
Yeah. Troubles Brewing at the top. Trademarked, right? Black Donnelly's logo is a registered trademark.
It is.
Right? Is that what we're pointing at?
No.
No? Okay.
All right, so I'll tell you what it is.
Is it like the one on the Donnellys looking like Abraham Lincoln on the logo or what?
Honest Dave was too honest enough that he got murdered. No, so the one thing that just kind of bothers me about the can, and this is just who I am
okay, it's just you
as an individual. If I'm looking at the can you're holding in your hand right now, and see the way that you're holding it, you've got the label facing you. Now look at when you go to crack it open.
I see what you're saying.
There's something about it, just the way that the can art is.
Where the can is.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
The opening, the mouth of the can.
How bad off is...
Oh, I think they're all fairly similar. It's a very similar angle. So it's just the way that the label's on the can.
When you want to pour, you want to be like have that logo right here.
I want logo down.
But obviously you got to go to the little bit of make a Randy here and go right.
Either logo down or logo up.
Okay. I want it to be a spelling mistake or something like that.
I want it to be either straight on where I open the can up and I have as I pour it, I want the label to be very centered to it. Or I would even take the backside center.
Okay.
But
we'll see if that happens in the next can.
Yeah. Just a fun thing. I looked at it and I was like, ooh. But that's who I am sometimes.
So put your nose on that head right now.
Yeah, honestly, the snow code.
Yeah, right.
Whew. Well, let's talk about appearances here. So we do have like a very light,
light hazy,
very light hazy, kind of apple juice esque, if you will.
And the aroma, the smell of a hazy IPA is definitely there. In terms of the full fruit flavor. Now, I feel as though we should see if the taste is there, perhaps.
Yeah, I got a little bit more head on mine than you do yours. Yes. Do you want to go first?
Let me go first.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some pininess to it almost. There's like it's not a full on hazy, right? It's a very translucent hazy, more so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh, how delightful.
I know, right? It does have some powerful bitterness to it, especially in my personal opinion. Let's see if you get the same amount of bitterness on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Very, very strong. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very strong.
It's not a bad strong by any stretch, but it's noticeable.
It is very strong. Yeah. And people who like a bitter beer are going to enjoy it. People who don't, they might not enjoy it as much. Beers? You know me. Mm-hmm. It's just like you. It's just like the other craft beer connoisseur who shouldn't be named. We enjoy.
Don't worry, Tim. You're named.
Yeah, we enjoy a wide variety, right? And so this is a very bitter, light hazy IPA.
Mm-hmm. It's almost. I know we've kind of mentioned this maybe a couple times, but sometimes things. I'm not saying if this was just an IPA, Biddulph's IPA, then it'd be more. You get it, right?
Oh yeah.
But naming it a hazy IPA, and really having more West Coast vibes to it. Right?
A little more so, yeah.
It's kind of, that's what's throwing me off. Not exactly where the can is being poured and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
That's just my personal, it's still a decent beer, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's kind of, when you label it as a hazy IPA, you expect that haziness to come through. You expect that cloudiness to come through, right?
Yeah.
When a hazy IPA is not looking like apple juice. It's poured out, right?
It's just, it's a different kind of aesthetic than what you'd be normal or used to in this kind of field, right? The bitterness is definitely there. There is still some citrusy coming through. So it's not necessarily citrus juice, but citrus rind.
Yes.
We've kind of talked about this.
It's not a juice bomb, it's a rind bomb.
There's a little bit more of the acidicness to it,
Yes,
right?
sure.
That's what I'm kind of getting.
So in terms of the top 5 flavor profiles, number 1 is happy. Happy.
Okay.
I had to say it again, just make sure that you got it.
Yeah, happy.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Yeah. That's how Tim says it.
So is it happy?
Happy.
Happy.
Yeah, because Tim says it that way. So I make
It's
sure.
going to be May.
Oh.
You know how they say it's going to be May.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here, I feel like. You're starting a trend. You're going to be a meme.
Oh, really?
You're going to be a new Justin Timberlake.
That's really going to promote the craft beer connoisseurs then.
We need a meme. Somebody needs to meme us.
Yeah.
Meme me up. Meme me up, Scotty.
All right. There you go. Why isn't it Producer Scott's got to do that when he had Producer Scott back
We
on?
need to get scat.
Yeah, we need to get Scott.
All right,
Scat.
so happy.
Yep. Number 2, citrusy.
Yeah, I do pull out some of the citrus from this. Again, because it does fall in line with the IPA. It's got the bitterness though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Number 3, bitter.
Yeah,
It must be number 1.
Number 1. Yeah, and
100%.
I think you said it right. Like it was. I think you used the word powerful. I think you used that.
Yeah, I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very powerful. Yeah.
However, number 4 is dry. Do you feel that there's some sort of dryness to this?
I sure do. Yeah, there's some dryness to it. Take a sip, and then, like again, you kind of want to come back to having another drink of the beer because it is dry. Like it does leave that dryness lingering a bit.
Which is, I mean, the whole thing about beer is to make you come back for more. Within reason, of course. Right? So this one makes you come back for more, which is good. It's not giving you the most powerful bitterness. It's like, no, I don't want that anymore.
Right.
It's still making you want to come back, which is all it's supposed to do, right?
Yeah. See how you were kind of saying that sentence and then you stopped because you had a little bit?
Oh, like just like you did?
But that's what I just did.
I know.
Because that's the dryness, right?
Yep.
That dryness is pulling you back to be like, hey, wet your whistle, boy.
What about sweetness? Because sweet is number 5.
There is some sweetness to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I wonder
find a little bit too.
I wonder if that falls in line with like some of their other beer types. Like as you were saying, like with the honey aspect. I wonder if they're pulling that sweet, like in general, like they just
For the most part,
dabble
I
in
honestly
sweet.
think their sweetest beer would be the 1880 Milk Stout, which honestly I think is their best one I've had so far. I shouldn't say that because I rated them 4.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's for a stout. It's a really good in terms
one
of
of their
local
local
stouts. I should say.
Yep. Okay.
My apologies.
Good save. Good save. Good save.
Kick save and a beauty, right? Anyway, so there's other people that have had this beer, as we've obviously do on every episode.
Yes.
We have a couple untapped thoughts.
Can I do the first one?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. The first one is Cajun F, Cajun Fox. State the following: excellent IPA, bitter and citrusy, crisp and light. And they give it a 4 out of 5. Again, this is 6%.
Yes.
So it's light in color, not light in bitterness, and a decent kind of ABV.
Which is fun. It's funny because the bitterness is only the IBU's in here 27.
Right. It does not drink like a 27.
No.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like and it's on the website. That's where the information came from. Yeah. And there could have been some alterations to the recipe. Don't get me wrong. But I definitely feel like this is more like the 50-60 territory in terms of like because 27, you know, it's there subtle. Look back to the pale ale that we had from Lovebird Lessons, right?
There you go.
Right? Yeah.
We've done a lot of episodes. You could have referenced something from like season 2.
I think it's the dryness.
It could be the dryness. But yeah, I think with this here, but those IBUs were unlisted, were they not?
They were. But that would, if you put 27 IBU to that, makes sense.
Sure.
This one, you're looking 50-60 territory.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I feel like it's in the 60 range as well. Yeah, it's getting up there a little bit. Yeah.
Definitely the as we said, the Rhine bomb, if you will, right?
Yeah, there's bitterness tied to it for sure.
So the next one comes from Ian K, and his handle is Ferris K, and he said, "Great nose, great initial flavor, little rough finish. Okay. Smooth and creamy feel, 3.5 out of 5.
Yep.
Little rough finish. I'm interested to see maybe that could be the bitterness. Right?
I think that's a bitterness tail end of it. It's just the way that you have a bitter dry end to it, right?
It's still got that creamy feel kind of threat, and then at that back end, it's just like a subtle creaminess by all means. It's not like
yeah.
Right
up front. Is that what you're thinking? Okay, yeah. Because I am getting like again the bitter powers through the sip, and then the dryness at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Not unpleasant. Not unpleasant.
yeah.
Not unpleasant.
Oh, well,
You said 3 out of 5, right?
yes, which is his rating.
Okay.
What's your rating going to be?
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna mimic that. Actually, I'm gonna go with a 3.5 for myself.
I feel like I'm going to mimic you here, which is sometimes I don't like to do it.
Hey, but
you
when in
know,
Rome.
let's open it up now. So I'm also going to give it a 3.5. Producer Tim over there also giving it a 3.5. So
Do you want to do the math? You know what? Normally I would do, the information from Tim and we put it in, but I think maybe you could handle this one.
Okay. 3.5 times 3.
Divided by? Yep. Carry the one.
3.5?
It's 3.5.
Grade
Brett.
6 math at Metropolitan paid off.
Brett, he did it, guys.
Thank you.
Finally got a number right. So, 3.5.
You don't need to round up or down. That's like right on there.
Squared up.
Yeah.
You like that. You know what? Beer number 1, not bad.
Okay.
Let's see about beer number 2.
Let's see. So the second beer we're having today is Seven Sons, which is an amber lager.
I did not realize your family was that big.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You were stunned for a second. Wait a
Interesting.
second.
I was like, I don't have seven
La
sons.
familia.
I don't have 7 sons either, so yeah. I'm like, oh. I mean, there's a side of the family that is big, trust me.
I will.
Family size, not like big size. That was rude of me.
I think everybody knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
You would have been okay.
So this beer comes in at 5% and 17 IBUs. Now, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Producer Tim
Tim.
was
Tiny
like, just hiding something in the back pocket here. Okay?
What did you hide?
He had a full-on black Donnelly's glass. Looks like almost like a kind of like a mason jar.
Kind of like a can.
Yeah,
Like a can.
like a can. Yeah,
Can version of the glass.
right.
But he didn't
And
bring it
then
up
brought
for
it
the,
out.
Didn't bring it up for the first one.
Didn't bring it for the first one. Brought it for the second one.
So you'll see this one in the picture,
Yes.
presumably.
Which we turned up the brightness way high.
Yes.
Yes,
Tim.
Tim. Good job, Tim.
All right. This beer that we're having, Seven Sons, some might say. 7 Sons, some might say. Oh, that's a lot.
Mouthful.
Is unfiltered. Malt forward with a little spice. Okay, you know what we're moving into? We're in fall. We're moving into some nice...
I feel like this is going to be a good fall beer.
Yeah, right? A little bit of spice, making everything nice. Slight hop bitterness with a mild sweetness involved throughout. So that's what we're looking for here. Now, on Untapped, what do we got there?
So, Seven Sons has 61 check-ins with an average rating of 3.65 out of 5. 3 friends have checked it in. Average rating 4.25.
Oh, wowzers.
Our friends, big fans of the beer.
Yeah.
Big fans.
We'll see if we match up with our friends or if we don't match up with our friends. We'll have to see what that looks like.
Absolutely. And the one thing, I'm just going to make a note of this. There's been some contracting work going on throughout the house out here.
There has been.
And I can't hear anything.
There's been nothing.
Which is great. I love that.
Some renovations.
Yeah, renovations.
Now, the thing that I think is just they were very conscientious about making noise. So can't hear nothing.
No. Can't
But
hear
if
anything.
you were in the apartment,
Oh, boy.
you know how many times we heard the sirens?
Yeah, no sirens here.
Fire trucks, aplenty, police, tasing people perhaps.
Yeah. Right. You even heard the taser, I'm pretty sure, in one of them. You right?
Tase them,
But yes, good job to your
Wow.
contractors for not making noise. Well,
Yeah.
like it's good for you to like come and double down. And I don't know if you heard our previous episode, but Tyler has a new house.
Yes.
I shouldn't say a new house; it's his first house.
But new to me.
Yeah, new to you.
Yeah, new first house for me.
Yes, so he's having some contracting work coming in and renovating a few things.
Hired help.
Yes, hired help.
Yes.
Correct. What the
been
pay rate
hired.
is, I don't know. I will ask them later.
They've been hired and they are helping. And we appreciate that. All right. To the beer. In order to drink the beer, we must put it into a vessel. And the way that we do that is we grab the can, we grab said vessel. Let's open her up.
And we have done just that. Look at that.
Look at that.
We opened her up. And now the pouring into the vessel. Let's all be silent. Because you want to know something? That's one thing we normally don't do is we pour, but we're talking over each other and things like that. We never just
very
let,
nice.
We never just let the simple pour happen.
That was very ASMR-ish.
That's probably the best part of the podcast in 4 years. Just hear the pour. What? That should be the wave.
If we can utilize Wave, we got to find an alternative.
Yes, we have to find an alternative.
Because our Wave services on our Instagram that we usually do for like the sound snippet, the audio snippet, Wave has now gone to a premium subscription, which means it would cost us more money. And we try to keep this low cost for the individuals. However,
Even though we could probably afford it.
yeah, for sure. But if you want to support the podcast in a monetary sum, just DM us and let us know, and we'll send you our contact information, and you can supply us with some.
And
some
the best
funds
part
for
is
this.
auto deposit.
Yeah,
Right? You like to see it.
but we like to keep it low cost. I mean, we've looked at some different things, some Patreon and all that, because we figure, you know what, we do provide some premium content, and we can make some kind of exclusivity. But that was a good pour.
It was.
Very nice pour.
And speaking of premium content,
What are we drinking out of?
this glass.
Besides that glass,
Yes,
what
the
would
black
we normally
Donnelly's
drink this
glass
out of?
that producer Tim is drinking out of.
Yes.
We are drinking out of our pint glasses.
We are.
Because,
And we recommend that you do too.
yes.
too
Unless,
as well.
unless you go to Black Donnelly's and grab the can-like glass.
Oh.
You could do that.
Not bad.
For sure. So, color, obviously, it's got that amber hue to it, right?
Very coppery.
yes, very
Very
coppery.
dark caramel. Caramel.
Caramel.
Where do you land?
Caramel.
Caramel.
Yes.
Yes, quite.
Which is also funny because if you look at the canner, it's like a light caramel,
It is.
right? So it's kind of funny how that kind
for
of
sure.
transpires.
I want you to smell this, and maybe our conversation will bleed into the smell that you're kind of maybe picking out, perhaps.
A little caramel spice.
There's some caramel spice in there. Again, very malty. You could like just on this, like the smell is
I have a feeling it's gonna be very malt forward,
very
right?
malty. But it's how can I say this? Deep tones, maybe undertones, but I feel like it's not probably undertones because it is very forward, but very deep, rich tones.
Now, would you say, and you're going to like me for this one,
I might.
would you say it's copper tone?
Butter me up in sunscreen, call me copper tone.
Like a little
it is.
SPF 50 right now?
No, it is. It does have like a copper hue to it, but like on the nose, it is very deep, rich, like scent. You know
Almost
what I mean?
like a fall beer, like what you want from a fall beer.
Yeah,
right?
this is perfect. This is perfect.
I feel like there just needs a little campfire in front of us.
I mean,
Listen to some like classic country music.
Michael, row your boat ashore.
I was saying like country roads.
We could do that?
Take me.
That's good. Yeah, I was
Like
thinking like doing like
little
a very
down yonder,
campfire.
a chatty hoochie. No.
I was just thinking very like rich, you know, country or not country, campfire tunes.
Yeah.
You know,
Need a little like somebody with a guitar if they know how to play.
live by. Yeah, we could do a harmonica there. I love
Right.
harmonicas.
I know a guy who knows how to play the harmonica.
I've got a harmonica.
No, but I know a guy who knows how to play it.
I dabbled in it for a little period of time, but
But I know
not
a guy
good
who
enough.
like actually like knows how to like fully play.
Can he teach me? Can
Yes.
you teach me do lessons?
Yes,
I would love that.
My neighbor also plays the accordion,
I don't care about the
and
accordion.
he goes like this a lot.
I don't care about
it's,
that.
It's a fun thing. Accordion's like $20,000.
I know.
a new one.
I don't care about the accordion.
I don't
I
either.
want to learn the harmonica. I have books and I have a harmonica and I did some online lessons.
I'll link you up. Yeah.
There we go.
And what we need to do is also link this beer to our mouths. Thank you.
Yes. Very good. Go ahead, Brett. I feel like this will be very malty. I feel strong in that.
Indeed, but it's nice and smooth though. It's a smooth malty.
Yeah, don't fill the
No,
time
I
with anything. You just
Yeah, I
look
feel
at me
the-
awkwardly,
I feel the
weirdo.
time. You wonder who could feel that time? Ye not be named.
He who not be named.
And you're probably wondering, did he like get fired? And the answer is, we don't know.
No, didn't get fired. Not from us.
Yeah, yeah. Producer Tim, what do you think?
All right.
Not fired. Okay.
Touche. Yeah. This is interesting to me.
Okay.
Malty forward, caramelish. I would almost say lighter than I anticipated.
Okay. Okay.
The flavors are there,
Yes.
but the way that it drinks, I think this needs to warm up a bit.
I think maybe we're serving at the wrong temperature. I do.
I think it needs to warm up just a bit. So I'm holding in my hands because again, this is
that's where the heat would come from is your hands. So it
well,
makes sense.
and it's in a pint glass.
Yep.
So I can wrap my hands around this
Yep.
sweet Bippy and try and warm her up a bit because I feel like it will evolve as it gets a little bit warmer. And this hey, you know what? Craft beer connoisseurs, sometimes they make a little fumble at the goal line here.
The odd time, right? The odd time.
I think that this just needs to warm up a bit. So we'll kind of get to that kind of, but it is malty. Is very malt forward. There is some around. It's not dry like previous, so it's nice.
It's almost like the craft beer connoisseurs made a rouge, if you will, and that for CFL fans out there, that's a 1-pointer.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Right, because the
all 7 fans,
right,
all your 7 sons.
Yes,
are going to appreciate.
They're all CFL fans.
Why don't you?
Because I guess there's 9 teams now. I thought there was 7. I thought it was going to be a good joke there, but no, there's not.
Yeah. Talk about the can.
Well, I kind of did a little bit in terms of saying that the
you did.
I did. And so
we'll let this warm up.
The light caramel versus the warm caramel. Now, the one thing that I kind of getting is just the red lettering on the gold.
Mm-hmm. Red on gold.
What does that look like to you in terms of when you think of like a beer can that's gold and then red?
There's a lot that are gold.
I'm just trying to see if you could
and red.
It.
What are you picking up?
Okay. So I know this is kind of far-fetched.
Okay, well that's why I couldn't understand where you're picking
I
up
agree.
on.
But most of it gets served in bottles. However, back in the day, and this is kind of what it's reminding me of, and our big fan will appreciate this.
Okay.
Labatt 50.
Labatt 50. Okay.
Had the gold base with the red lettering.
That's fair. Very traditional.
I knew I was seeing if you could get that, like in your terms of knowledge of
I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, with the Labatt 50 kind of look. Okay.
Now, the other thing, too,
the gold and red
is I've never actually seen this being labeled as one, but I feel like eventually if you get a really malt-forward lager with like caramel taste in it, caramel lager.
Maybe you can make that someday.
In my machine.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Depends. Mm-hmm. So we've heard. All right. Again, so the Black Donnelly logo is smack dab in center.
But can't miss it.
Yeah. So that doesn't change at all.
Yeah,
so,
but your OCD hasn't changed.
No. So it, again, kind of opens up somewhere in between the label this time, at least. Mm-hmm. Which is good. Like the front and the back. Yep. It's kind of midway.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, top flight.
Sorry, what?
English. En français, Espanol, I don't know. Top 5 flavor profiles.
I'll do it. Let me do the speaking from this point on.
Yeah. I will just shut up. It's going to be a one-man show from here. Point.
Nah.
Good day, folks. See you later.
Number 1, smooth.
It goes down very, very smooth, actually.
Yeah, it is smooth. It's light, which makes it smooth almost. You know what I mean? Like, I would almost want it to be a little bit more, a bit, but it's okay. Number 2, malty.
Most definitely. Number 1 for me. Mm-hmm. I like how you're saying that with a mouthful of beer. Great.
Yeah, it is definitely malt forward. It's warming up now. Kind of get
Are you getting
some more deeper
so
flavors.
this might be one of those ones where if you rated it on your first sip versus
and you don't want to ever do that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No. Yeah.
But it might change.
Oh, absolutely would.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot with like darker beers, your stouts, your porters. Like you want to make sure that you have a proper temperature with that. You don't want to go ahead, have a sip, and then, oh my goodness, I just saw a squirrel just jump from the fence to the tree. This guy is crazy.
Nature. New houses are great.
I love that. Squirrel. Quite literally. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're giving the beer as much of a chance to get the best rating that it can get. This isn't a one sip. Give it a rating. You want to make sure you get halfway through this, let it warm up, let the flavors come to you, and give it an opportunity.
This is an autumn sipper, if you will, right? In terms of, just let it sit there. Number 3
is clean. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This beer is very clean. And all Black Donnelly beers that I've had have always been clean.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'll give them that for sure.
Yeah, very, like, there's nothing in this thing, too. Like, she's filtered pretty well.
Number 4. Beat you to it.
Mouth coating. You're not doing this. I don't know where you came up with this halfsy. This, the last episode? You
just makes for better content.
You want to split things up.
Makes for better content.
Mouth coating. Coat your mouth that beer.
I will.
Yeah, I think it, because it's so clean, it doesn't really have as much mouth coating as I think it's intended to have. So I feel those kind of are just juxtaposed of each other. Oh my God, juxtaposition.
English, French, Espanol.
Holy moly. That they run kind of counter, right?
Yep.
You have a bit of clean, you have a bit of mouth coating, but it's not, like, it's more clean than anything. I'm not getting like, You know?
No, that's fair. Number 5, full. Does this make you full?
No, it's full bodied.
Yes, I agree.
There are some really good flavors that kind of come to. So there is that to it. I kind of wish this had something just a little bit more.
Of what?
I think, again, because it's the maltiness of it, I want it to be a little bit more deeper in the flavor profile. I want it to be a little bit more richer. I'm just kind of looking at a touch, like, give me a little more sweetness to it. Like, kind of round it out a bit more.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Maybe it's one of those things where when you eventually make your way to Black Donnellys, have the stout.
No, for sure. But that doesn't mean that
I'm just
beer,
saying,
right? Like,
you want some sweetness from them?
Yeah, no, for sure. I just feel like this could be just a little bit more deeper in the flavor profile. Good beer, a little bit more.
Understandable.
Okay. Thoughts on Untapped? Brett, you take the first one to the second one. We got to get going here.
Yes, we do. The first one comes from Scott, and his handle is SR Hillier. Pretty smooth amber lager, not too malty. Okay. Smooth, maltier than what maybe you're putting out there, but 3.5 out of 5.
Second one, Katie. Katie loves Dot Beer. Nice ambery malty lager that is smooth throughout, rated at 3.25 out of 5. So a little bit of contrast between Scott and Katie. Not too malty. Then Katie says malty. Scott, Katie, duke it out.
But it's smooth.
There was smooth throughout.
Okay. That's me.
Brett, why don't you go first with ratings? How about that?
So for myself, I'm going to rate this one a 3.75. I think it's a great beer to have in the fall. I quite enjoyed maybe a little bit more, as you said, deeper, maybe a little bit more malty, maybe a little more caramel action. But I think for the season that we're having this in, I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.25. Looking for a little bit more richness out of it. And producer Tim, the non-two-man, is going to give it a 3.
Oh, yes, I did see that pop up there.
So a 3, a 3.25, a 3.75.
I'm going to concede this one for you because this might be a little more harder math.
So those three combined is going to be 3.3 repeater.
Oh.
And you know what? I say we round it up. Do you want to round it up?
Does the math check out on that?
You can round it down.
Because technically it would be 3.25.
It's 3.
Yeah, right. Because it has to be a 3.375 to go up, and it's lower than 3.37. So technically, you'd have to round it lower. So it's 3.25.
It's just too bad because I feel like it should be a 3.5.
Well, then make your rating higher and get it.
I'm not going to do it.
Then there you go. Won't go.
And you know what could have helped this out? Having a third craft beer connoisseur.
Wonder where he is.
3.25 is going to be the overall score that we will be giving it as a team. Yes. Brett.
And that concludes the review of Black Donnellys and beers provided for today's episode. Thank you very much for both those quality beers.
Absolutely. We're going to be right back with some of our conversation around the supernatural. All right. We're back. Today is Thursday.
It is.
And with that being said, we know spooky season's just around the corner here.
Yeah. Or as other people say, pumpkin spice season, which is spooky for me because I hate pumpkin spice.
I feel like it's been pumpkin spice all day, every day, right?
Probably. Going to Starbucks, whatever.
There it is. So Tuesday, Halloween.
That is really a thing.
Yeah, it really invokes the question about ghosts and supernatural, and kind of, I think this is our time to kind of have a discussion about that. Keep it thematic. So we'll kind of do our conversation with this. We're not actually going to have Tim in this at all.
Why would we?
You know, he's kind of like a Casper for the thematic conversation. So let's have a conversation about the supernatural. I'll start it up. Do you believe in the supernatural? This is the question. I will start. I will answer it. And then we'll go to you.
I like how you're going to answer your own question.
Yes, yep. but it sets the stage. Do you believe in the supernatural or ghosts. We won't talk about extraterrestrials or, unidentified objects or anything like that. None of that stuff. We're just talking about supernatural and ghosts. I feel sometimes that there's spirits or something at play. I don't know if I would consider them ghosts or not, like supernatural necessarily, but there's something sometimes at play. Now, I have watched some shows on Discovery around this time, as we get closer and closer to Halloween. They've got these like ghost hunting things. I think that's all a crock. I think the way that goes, like the one I was watching the other day was like, oh, well, they went into a deep well and they were trying to find the burial sites for these two people and they're in the cornfield, and it just so happens you had to do it at nighttime.
Also,
you don't have to do it at nighttime.
This is just a play on that, but like, why would somebody bury somebody in a well?
Well, it wasn't. No, those are two separate things.
Okay, that's kind of interesting, but okay.
Well, for last you to find them naturally,
yeah, for sure.
But like that's the thing is like, every one of those shows is like we have to record it at nighttime. No, you're going down a well to see some like identifiable objects down there. If there's something that could, back up the story. Nobody said you had to do it at nighttime. Ridiculous. But I do feel like sometimes there is a presence of something. And I'll go into some of these stories perhaps in a little bit. Brett, what are your thoughts on it?
So for me is I don't really believe in any of that stuff.
Okay.
Right? Like I get people who believe it, but that's on them. But like, again, as you said, like going to record this at night or like something that's haunted, like,
Sure.
I mean, your house might be haunted, right? Because I had the strobe light and
yeah, that was weird. That was
right?
weird.
It's like, I don't know
what that is, bro.
But for me, it's just like, for people to have their full-time occupation as a ghost hunter.
Yeah. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum.
But that's kind of stupid.
Okay.
Right?
So you don't believe in ghosts?
No.
Supernatural spirits?
No.
None of it?
No. None of this past life, I was like a lawyer from Milwaukee kind of stuff. Like none of that.
Okay, Milwaukee lawyer out.
Yeah, right?
Okay, good.
None of that. Like I just don't believe in any, like, this is your life. Boom. Right? There's no...
Kaboom.
Right? There's no people from the past life that are up in blah, 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 haunting you, saying, oh, you can't succeed. Boom. Take that away from you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
None of that.
Okay.
You get it on your record. You lose it on your record. Simple as that.
Okay, good. Hey, this is what this is about, right? We're invoking the conversation. For me, next question. Have you ever had anything that was unexplained or any kind of like encounters with ghosts or something that didn't make sense?
Yeah, that was 35 minutes ago.
All right, so there was one time, and I don't know what it was. I can't really explain it, but I remember going out. This story might sound fake because I was out on a date with a girl.
Lies.
And we went to the movies once, and it was me, her, and her friend.
She had a friend. Even more lies.
Well, she had a friend. I didn't say I had a friend.
Yeah. Truth.
Yeah. So we went out to the movies and we came back. We're walking down the road towards my house. This is in Stratford. And we had a big great room. And so you could look up and there's a big window there. Now, nobody was home. Like, my parents weren't home. None of my siblings were home. Like,
you planned ahead. Okay. I'm seeing where you're going here.
Spooky. Yeah. Nobody was home. So as we were walking down the road, I looked up and I saw somebody standing in the window. I was like, what? Like, I guess somebody, like, I guess one of my siblings is home. One of my parents is home. Like, somebody's in the window. And I said to the girl, I was like, oh, like, I guess somebody's home. Like, whatever. And her friend was like, oh, yeah. Like, whatever. Not a big deal. So then we went into the house. Nobody was home. But, I mean, we were far enough away that it could have been something else. It could have been the way that the drapes were. Like, there's several other things. But I kid you not, it looked like somebody was up in the window. And I was like, man, that was kind of weird. And and it was an old-fashioned person. Like, it didn't look like somebody who I knew. Can I explain it? No.
Looked like one of the people on the can for the Black Donnellys.
Yeah, it could have been one of the Black Donnellys. Yeah.
Well,
so a little wild, but it was just, again, because I was like, I don't think anybody's home, and all three of us confirmed it.
Okay. Oh,
and there was no drinking involved. I can guarantee this. We were at that age where you're like, you're too young. to drink, but because you're going to a date at the movies, for crying out loud. You know?
Are you sure this wasn't like your first date with your wife?
No, this is well before her. This was grade 9, I think, grade 9, 10.
Oh, you were too young to drink illegally.
Well, I was too young,
legally,
too young to drink legally. Yeah, but
illegally.
No, I wasn't. None of us were drinking. Yeah, it was weird.
Interesting.
Yeah,
must have had something in the gummy bears you bought.
Nothing.
Yeah, right, there you go.
No,
I'm kidding. You don't do that stuff anyway. So
no, the only snack that was there was me. All right, so Brett, have you had any experiences like some?
I can't follow up on that at all.
Nothing, eh?
No. I think you got me good there. I think actually there's one, but I've mentioned it in a previous episode. I know I have about the light in the change room at the Mitchell Public School.
Yeah, your principal.
I've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So other than that, I got nothing. Honestly, I don't believe in it. That was the only time I kind of was like, oh, maybe. But that was I was like grade 5. I'm now a 31-year-old man, and
not a snack.
Yeah. That's up for debate.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't know where I kind of land on some of it. You know, like I think there's that. Have you ever done a Ouija board?
I've seen the movie.
Okay.
The Ouija board.
Okay.
I actually saw it with my wife. That was one of the first movies we actually saw.
Really?
Yeah. In the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some snacks.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't motivated to watch it, but sometimes you just have to go.
You have to go.
Bingo.
Interesting. Yeah. I've done Ouija boards before. We used to have one. And I remember a couple of guys from the ball team, we did the Ouija board. And
one of them was not me.
No, we were in the basement of our buddy's place in Stratford, and we did the Ouija board, and some information kind of came out, and you're like, it was a little bit too close to home for some people. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, there is some kind of like persuasion that you kind of have over like dictating where, the little stylus or whatever you want to call it kind of moves around. But all right.
There you go.
Not for you?
Not for me.
All right. Well, that's our thematic conversation. We hope that everybody has a very safe and happy...
Oh, Tim just came back. I just missed it.
What a ghost.
Oh, my God.
Have a very safe and happy Halloween.
Indeed. Happy Halloween.
Enjoy it, and enjoy all the snacks.
Enjoy the beers that all the neighbors are giving out, right?
If you have the right neighbors, you should be getting
or some RC Colas, one of the two.
Yeah, there is. We're not a household of full-size chocolate bars, I don't think, here.
Yet.
Well, we'll see. Anyways, happy Halloween, everybody, and we will see you next week for a producer special, and we'll be right back with our farewell. That's all for today's episode. Thanks again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as the Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode, and on our off Thursdays, much like next week, for a producer special.
Mm-hmm. And make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite ghost hunter, because they're going to need something to listen to while they're hunting ghosts.
And what's better than Craft Beer Connoisseurs? Nothing. Quite honestly, nothing. So from all of us and producer Tim, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Brett. And together, we the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.